And I was like, oh my God, I felt famous for like a day. and then like the next video I posted, crickets. I was like, man, this stuff is hard.
What's up, guys? Today we have special guest Darius. What's cracking, bro?
What's going on, man? This is awesome to like finally do this.
Dude, so I mean, like, we've been friends on, I think, just through social media, and I think we comment on each other's posts, and we kind of been like friends or a long time social media, but it's really cool to actually meet you in person.
I know, this is super cool. Came out here like for vacation and just reached out to you. I was like, hey, what are you doing, man?
Well, Hawaii's not a bad place to come on vacation, right? So,
no, we love coming here. This is our third time coming here in the last 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we love it here.
But I mean, it's kind of cool because like we're friends on social media, but I see you're doing a lot of cool things in the real estate space. And like you're into social media now. I don't know if you've always been into social media.
Not at all.
But then like I feel like your brand and like your skill set has grown a lot through social media, especially. And you just told me like you raised over $1 million your first month of raising money through social media.
Yeah, I mean, social media, it's still new to me, I feel like.
Yeah.
The first time I partnered with an investor and was like, he's like, hey, let's raise some private money. I had no idea what I was doing. So I literally just made an Instagram post saying, hey, I've done private money lending. Maybe you should try it.
Yeah.
And some people that I trust were like, hey, that sounds awesome. And then literally within 2 days, someone reached out. And then in one Instagram post was $600,000 in money's raised. It was
that's
crazy.
So crazy. One Instagram post, $600,000.
Yeah, it was crazy.
When you made that post, what was kind of your expectations?
Honestly, it was just maybe one person will reach out and be interested. I was like, maybe I'll get
or 50 grand.
I was like, maybe even I'll get 10 views. Hopefully, I don't know.
Yeah.
It was I had honestly expectations were like flatline, and then all of a sudden it was just I got a text right away, and they were like, hey, this looks interesting. Yeah. And then the investor called me like 2 days later and was like, hey, this person just lent the X amount of money, then another person lent X amount of money, and the next thing you know, we had $600,000 raised.
That's so crazy. I think like the people often underestimate the power of social media, like just how powerful it can be. And I think like because like how many followers do you have?
Like it's 2,800, so I'm not even a huge. I'm not
so
a big page.
You got 2,800 followers, but they're probably like legit loyal followers, right?
They are.
But at the same time, like 2,800 followers and you raise $1 million in a month. That's to me like that's really, really impressive.
It was cool. It was because I look at pages and I'm like, wow, they have 20,000, 40,000, 100,000 followers.
Yeah.
You must have to have that big a following to have business.
Yeah.
And then once that happened, it clicked, and I was like, you don't need a big following. You just need people that are real and trust and you have connections with.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool to see how that works.
I mean, the cool thing is, I think just as social media, it's a free tool, right? Like anybody can post at any time. So there's no like you don't have to pay for the post or anything like a TV ad. But then it's so hard to gain traction, even though it's like a free resource. It
is because that video actually did really well, and I was like, oh my God, I felt famous for like a day, and then like the next video I posted, crickets. And I was like, man, this stuff is hard. Yeah. And so then I was like, okay, consistently show up. And then you learn how to start engaging with people. Yeah. And then that's when things started to take off because you don't form relationships until you engage. And then once I started engaging with people and you start seeing the results of people going like, hey, like, who is this guy? Oh, he's, I like what he's doing. Yeah. And then more business kept coming and kept coming.
You know, what's really crazy is that through social media, I feel like I know you're ready and I trust you just because of our interactions. Like we've never met in person. We've never had a phone conversation at all before. But just because you talk, you comment myself, we DM each other and things. I feel like I already know you as a person. It's kind of crazy how that works.
It's so cool. It's awesome, honestly. I mean, that's the cool thing about social media is like it lets you connect with people from anywhere. And then next thing you know, it's like, you're like, God, I feel like I know where you started, what you've been doing. So when we like got out of the car and met you, it was like, oh man, good friend, what's up? Good to see you again, even though it's our first time meeting. Yeah.
So because like where are you based out of?
We're in San Jose.
So San Jose,
my
California,
wife and I are in San Jose,
right?
yep.
So it's there's basically an ocean between us.
Yep.
So we know it's not like a normal thing for us to kind of connect with each other. But through social media, basically you can connect with anybody in the world, right?
Yeah. So, it's a lot of my most helpful connections in the real estate industry have come from social media. My first private money loan I ever did came from social media. So, which is crazy.
What was the mindset of the thinking, like when you first got into real estate, was social media a big part of your plan, your strategy?
No, not at all. Not at all. Mine was going to use actually the business that I started outside of real estate, which was my baseball training organization. Okay. And I was like, let me leverage those connections. Okay. And then see what happens because everyone in the Bay Area is in tech. Yeah. And you have a lot of wealthy families, and I have had access to hundreds of families. Yeah. So you had a company before real estate? Yeah. So I started a baseball training organization organization 10 years ago. This is the 10-year anniversary.
Okay. Wow, congratulations.
And thank you. So real estate wasn't even actually in the picture at that point.
Okay.
I wanted to become a physical therapist.
Okay.
And then I had families who were like, hey, you should get into real estate. You're good with people. You understand things. You study things. Just try it. And they're like, you could try. If you don't like it, don't do it.
So wait, who are these people who are trying to convince you to get into real estate?
There were parents in my baseball organization that sold hundreds of millions of dollars in real estate.
Wow.
They were like, hey, you need to try this. They're like, just trust me.
So then when your audience for your baseball organization basically were like kind of richer, well-to-do people who are trying to train their kids, is that your clients?
Yep, exactly.
And then a lot of these guys had either made their fortune or were maintaining their fortune through real estate investing.
Exactly. It's like either some of them were like, hey, I want to move to this city so my son can be in this school district. Or some were like, hey, I need an investment property.
Yeah.
And it was just, and I already had their trust because I coached their most prized possession, which is their child. So the trust was already there, which is like 95% of the battle.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just you help one person.
Yeah.
And that was the deal that I said that closed. The very first deal I ever did closed right before the world shut down for the pandemic.
In COVID.
And during COVID. And then it was a snowball effect. Then I started posting about it, like, oh, I helped this person. Oh, I helped this person.
It's really interesting. So I hear this all the time where these parents, they really care about you because obviously, like you said, you're taking care of their most prized possession, their son or their daughter, they really like you, right? And so as somebody who's looking out for your best interests, they said, hey, Darius, we want to see you more successful. We think you should get into real estate. So there's just something about when I guess these very wealthy families, they see what a big opportunity that real estate or real estate investing can kind of provide for people.
They do. And I think a big point you said is they look, and I was 20, let's see, I was in my 20s at that time, 34 now.
Okay.
And the first thing they would do was they love helping younger people.
Yeah.
And they have all this knowledge and all this success, and they don't just hold on to it.
Yeah.
I've learned that wealthy people like helping people succeed.
It's kind of crazy because when I first started, I thought rich people were stuck up and they would keep things close to their chest. And there definitely are those people, but the vast majority of the people who I meet who are wealthy, they're such a vast, they're so generous with their time, their knowledge. They always want to see the next person coming up to rise up and succeed,
Exactly. And that was, I think, the biggest shocker was finding that the wealthy people, one, were not these super uber smart people. They're not these, they're normal human beings that just understood, that figured something out, and they just repeat it. Then you sit and you have lunch, and I'm not shy where I will say, what did you do? How'd you get here? Let's talk. And they're like, oh, I just did this. I'm like, that's it? Where's the secret sauce?
Yeah.
And then there's no secret sauce. They just found something and they repeated it.
The secret sauce is being consistent over a long period of time.
Yes.
Because a lot of times, especially when you do something really well, it starts to get boring. That's the thing is this is boring as an entrepreneur, even though it's working well, and you try to jump to the next thing and you never really see the cycle finish because you're so bored of it, but once it gets boring, that means you're doing it well, and just kind of double down on whatever that is. And then that's how I feel you can build massive wealth. It's just the same boring thing over a long period of time.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they would say. And it was funny how the more people I talked to, the stories were similar. And that's when you kind of realize okay, this isn't, it's not rocket science.
And they're not smart people too. No offense, but
they're not.
So many rich people I know, they're literally just average, below average. Some of them are a little above average, but just I feel everybody who's really wealthy or built their wealth themselves, they just have the discipline to work consistently over a long period of time.
They are. And especially, I just had my first billionaire client last year. Didn't even know he was a billionaire. And I asked what he did, and he's like, I didn't even graduate high school. I was like, what? How'd you not graduate high school? He's like, oh, I moved, to the United States and everything. He's like, but I found a trade. And I got really good at it. He's like, and then I took my money and I invested it and just kept.
Wow. So he went from zero to billionaire. This is a
billionaire.
Legit
and the most
story.
Nonchalant, quiet billionaire. Even the home he got wasn't even billionaire status.
Wow.
It was you would never know walking to this guy's house that this guy's sitting on a ton of money.
Wow. That's so crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
So, so you had the conversation with the parents. They convinced you. What was the first step to kind of get into real estate for you?
One of them sat me down, and one person I actually really trust, and they were like, look, you have the personality for this. You know how to sell, and you are very detailed in your craft of what you do. Yeah. So they're like, go get your license. Okay. So I signed up online for an online course, did my license, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And then got my license. Then I joined a brokerage. And the reason I picked the brokerage I'm in, which is Intero, was because the mentor I wanted, which I also met through the baseball industry. I told him, I said, hey, if I get into real estate, I want you to be my mentor, and that's the only way I'm going to do this. And he was like, sure. And I was like, awesome. So, and I still reach out to him up daily about like deals. I'm like, hey, I have this. Can you help me with this? And a lot of times he's like, you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was a huge factor in pretty much moving forward on everything I did in real estate.
I think that's a really key secret to kind of supercharging your growth is getting under somebody who's already successful and like they're invested in wanting to see you succeed.
Yeah.
Because like once you have that connection, like, and there's like this spiral of energy that goes up where you have somebody who like that you care about and like you're giving them advice. If they don't take it and they just like sit on their butts and are lazy, that doesn't, you're like, I don't want to help you anymore because like I feel like I'm wasting my time, right? But if they take your advice and like they try really hard, they come back to you, hey, I did all this and what's next? Then like you want to see them more, like succeed more. And so like, it's like this constant cycle of they're getting better, they're keeping you motivated, you feel more motivated. And then like you guys are both kind of rising together as like a coach and a mentee.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing relationship when you find that mentor and you grow with your mentor.
Yeah.
It's unbeatable, honestly, that feeling.
Yeah.
And he's been a huge support system for everything. And I even beat him out on one deal once with clients, which was the best feeling ever. I was like, yeah, that's right. The mentee beat the mentor.
It's a Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yes, exactly.
Moment, so.
Yeah, that was an amazing feeling. But yeah, he's a huge help, and I can't thank him enough for everything.
That's so awesome. So at what point did you kind of get into social media?
It was probably, I would say, 2023 is when I started the page.
Okay.
And the Invest with Darius page. And I didn't even know what to name it. I was like, I don't know. I still actually don't even like the name. So
how did you choose the name?
I literally was just like, I see other people putting Invest with whoever. I was like, here we go.
So when you made the page, was it for as a real estate agent, as an investor? What was like the plan?
It was a real estate agent, and that was specifically what it was for. And then I was like, I can help people invest in real estate, meaning that they can buy a home and whatever it may be.
Got it.
Because no matter what, whether you're buying a home for yourself to live in or as a rental property, it's an investment. So I was like, let's call it Invest with Darius.
It's really interesting that you chose invest because you can sort of like buy with Darius or sell with Darius, or
I could have.
I'm just curious, like, like, so, but invest is like a really interesting way to put it but it's also like worked out well because it helps you with private money lending and some of the investing like strategy. So it's kind of like a dual purpose thing. So, but when you first started, were you planning to do like private lending or private money lending?
None of that.
So it was just kind of coincidental that it has that name.
It worked out. Like everything has a plan, I guess. It works out. It just did. It was just supposed to be about helping people buy real estate. And then all of a sudden, then I bought rental properties. And then I was like, well, I know about investing. So this ties into it. Then I got into private money lending. I was like, okay, all right. I guess it sticks.
So we started the page Invest with Darius. What was kind of like the plan or like the process to kind of get the momentum that you had over that?
It was, oh my gosh, it was a grind. The first start, I was taking, videos in my living room, poor lighting, not know what I'm doing. It's not even centered. And I'm just talking about real estate. And then I remember the first video that ever somewhat took off. I've never gone viral or anything like that, but it was me talking about how your dream home doesn't need to be your first home. Use each home as a stepping stone. And then I think it got like a couple thousand views. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. And then again, crickets. and I just kept going. And then the funniest thing, in my baseball organization, one of the families was a producer for MTV.
Wow.
And he was like, you need to up your video game up, man. He's like, look, you have to have it centered and you need lighting. Like that stuff's important. So then I got a little bit better and then just kind of learned with practice. And then instead of looking at each video as this needs to make me business, I said each video is practice.
I love that. I love that mindset. I think especially in social media when you're just starting, there's so much that you don't know. And I think a lot of people get, they call it analysis paralysis, where you just want everything to be perfect before you put out that first video. And I know I did the same thing where I did like 100 takes and like none of them were good enough, like when I first started. But then like once I kind of got over my embarrassment, I just, let's put out trash and just see what happens.
Yes.
And then I didn't think of it as practice, but at the time it was practice where like you're just kind of putting out content consistently. Over time, you're just going to naturally get better. You'll get feedback. This is great. This sucks. This is great. This sucks. This sucks. And when people say like, you need to improve this, you take that feedback. Sometimes you listen to it, sometimes you don't. But each incremental video gets like 1% better.
It is. Yeah. And I'm a big believer in social media will teach you about social media, just like real estate will teach you about the market. Like
that's a really good. Explain that concept.
So it's just like when you're, when I help people try to sell homes, and I'm like, hey, I think your home is worth this because such and such. They might say, oh, I want to sell the home for $200,000 more, and it's like, okay, I'm just the market's going to tell you what your home is worth because it's going to sell at that number that makes sense. And same thing with social media is. You can post, and your posts are going to teach you about your audience and what's going to work and what doesn't. So at the end of the day, and again, I thank my wife for this because she's the one who pushed me to do this because I am a perfectionionist of like, this has to be perfect. She's like, just start posting and just keep going. And then you learn. And like I said, that post that raised $600,000, I was like, okay, so this worked. So let me try to replicate it. And sometimes it misses, even though you replicate it, but you have to just keep doing it. And it ends up working out.
I like that idea that you said like social media teaches you about social media, or like real estate teaches you about real estate, because like a lot of times we feel like we need to read books or go to events, conferences or things, watch videos to learn about social media. But the best teacher is just actually doing it.
Yes.
And then the feedback you get from doing it is different than actually like just like everything in your mind, like, or like hypotheticals. But I think like just over a long period of time, just consistently doing it, I've gotten personally so much better at social media. But I've also found that I've gotten better at every time I teach something on social media, I feel like I understand it better by teaching it as well too. So it's kind of like this dual thing where I'm getting better at social media at the same time, but I'm also getting better at real estate investing by teaching people. When I say teaching, like I use that word loosely, right?
Yeah.
But about real estate investing.
It's so true because I'm a big believer in if you can teach, you can do. And in sports, you're actually taught that a lot. And because I played baseball, I played a lot of sports growing up, but it is like my coaches would say when I was actively playing, go back and teach the youth. Because if you teach it, it'll teach you also. And I do that with my athletes now. I'll have my 14-year-olds coach with our 10-year-olds. And I'm like, now you understand. It's like when the apprentice becomes the master. And it's like, now you see why I get so mad at you.
They get frustrated. I'm like, whoa, this is like how we feel.
It's like the parent effect, right? And they're like, oh, really? I told you. It really becomes like that.
Yeah. And one of the cool things too, I think about social media is everybody has such a short attention span. Is like you basically have to take these big ideas and you have to condense them into like 10 or 30 seconds.
It's so hard.
And it's really hard to do, right? But when you can take a big idea and a complex thought and condense it into like a consumable 10 to 15 second clip, you really understand it better because like you have to go through the work to condense that yourself.
Yeah, and actually that's something I still struggle with is finding, because I have all these ideas and it's like being able to pinpoint it into like a one sentence hook of saying, like getting to the meat of, getting to the main course first, no appetizer, and then getting to everything else. And so I'm still struggling with that. But again, it's a fun struggle, honestly. I love like the project of learning how to do the social media. If you keep doing it, you end up having fun with it. It's a fun place to be.
You have to have fun with it. I think at times I think it does become a grind. Like I know personally there's times when I'm so over social media. But then I mean like at the end of the day, like it helps to like there's so many benefits to it. But then when you do have like successes or things that go really well, it kind of sparks you to stay interested. So I feel like it's like golf. Like like I'm terrible shot. Oh, great shot. Oh, I love golf. I hate golf. Oh, I love golf. Same with social media. I feel like it's like crickets. Okay, home run. Okay, I love social media. Crickets. I hate social media. Home run. I love social media. Yeah, it's kind of like this love-hate relationship.
It is, and I think that's like, but that consistency and keep going and that discipline, which I think is like I call it the D word. The most important piece is the discipline to keep going. Is the difference between people who are successful and not. Is like because discipline breeds consistency. And so you just have to keep going. Even if your post doesn't land, just keep going and going. And again, my page is super small and I'm not a guru at all for now. And I'm like, but it's created a lot of business. But it's just because I have to keep going even when I don't. I'm up late at night. Even last night, I'm like, before I go to bed, I'm like, oh, I just want to go to bed, but I got to make this so I don't have to just make this real and then go to sleep.
It's such a job. Like, I think there's so much people don't realize how much time, energy, and money it takes for this free tool or this free thing that you can post on, right? Like how much would you say you spent on like real estate, whether it's the editing, whether it's hiring videographers or different things like over like the course of a year?
It's I actually had now started setting a timer on Instagram, because you set the timer and I allow myself an hour a day on it. But if I have like a day, like a content day with my videographer, that takes us about 4 hours just to make the video. And then he'll edit. But then I've actually shifted away from some of the professional ones. I've been doing a lot of the stuff myself, just making more raw content, which is super uncomfortable at first. And I spend I would say there's times I spend 2 to 3 hours just on one video, which because I'm just learning how to do it, and especially trying to like the talking ones get me all the time, where I have to sit and I'm like, hey, so yada yada this and this, and I'm like the last video I took, I think I had 30 takes on my phone.
Same. My phone's just filled with the same picture over and over. You're taking so many shots, but like I don't like this one. Like I fumbled this word, I fumbled that word, etc.
But on Instagram, even right now though, I will say I spend an hour to an hour 15 a day, and that's between commenting, like engaging with audience, maybe finding some inspiration. And I'm very intentional with my time on social media. I don't sit there and scroll. I'm there for a purpose, and it's to connect with people like you and learn from people like you and other people, and then also put myself out there.
You know what? One thing I think you do really well is engaging. So like, I mean, like our page, we really appreciate you engaging with us. Like, I mean, it makes a big difference just having somebody to engage with. And then, so I think like there's a hidden, like, I don't want to say secret, or like, if you want to get business or make friends online, is if you just want to engage back with people, especially people who have engaged with you, you can build a really good, like, relationship online. And also it helps to build your page because there's back and forth engagement, whereas some people we will engage with and like they're just crickets in the back end. We're like, okay, keep engaging, and then we don't hear anything back. Like, okay, like let's find somebody else who would be more worth like a better ROI to engage with,
Yeah, it's very true. And I'm a big believer too. It's like, you want to make your presence felt. And again, I don't have a yeah, but I said my presence is going to on social media is going to feel like I'm a 10,000, 15, 20,000 follower page.
It does, at least for us, it feels,
yeah. And it's like, I'm like, it might be annoying. It's like, oh, there's Darius's head popping up my comments. It's like, but at the end of the day, it's not just one person that sees it. It's other people will see it. And I've created business off that of people are like, oh, like that's an interesting take on this, on this person's post. And you just keep forming relationships,
and it opens doors. Like, like something like, I know like we did this podcast through just like interacting on social media. I've gotten some big guests on our podcast doing the same thing, just like commenting on their posts, like some guys who like normally wouldn't give me the time of day, but I mean, because we're constantly like, posting their social media stuff, sharing their crap or whatever. Then like they like, okay, like actually Daniel has some value. I'm starting to like Daniel. I'll go on his podcast, or I'll do business with him, or I'll give him like a coffee or a lunch, So,
you have to put yourself out there because there's so many people on social media. And there's a lot of people in the real estate industry posting, especially now. Especially the pandemic. It feels like the whole world got into real estate.
Do you feel like it's like the social media landscape has changed over the last 5 years?
Yes. I think social media went from just like that fun, like, oh, I'm on here, kind of like brainwashed, to now it's a tool. And
it's almost like more popular than like TV, I'd say,
Oh yeah, big time. Like I think the only time we watch TV now is just like watch Netflix with my wife at the end of the day. But even when we're doing that, sometimes we're on our phone doing social media. It's like, again, it's either your greatest asset or your greatest liability. And it's really what you make it, which makes social media so beautiful, is you can make it it's the biggest asset of my business. And it's like, or you can still use it as like trash TV, what we used to back in the day when they had like Vine and all that stuff. It's but
it's funny, my wife is the same way. When we're watching like a Netflix or a movie together, I know when she's getting bored because the phone comes out and she just starts like scrolling. I'm like, dude, I'm not offended, but like, there's a movie and like, just like that, I guess she's so bored that she just starts like watching like her reels or videos and stuff, So.
Yeah, it is. It's like almost, I hate to say it can get addicting because you're just like, oh my gosh, it gets addicting. So that's why I have the timer. I'm like, okay, I have to find a way to make sure I break away and not get so
What timer do you have on it?
It's the Instagram on the app, the timer, and it's just an hour to an hour and 15
so
is what I give myself.
It's built into Instagram?
Yeah, and so and then it'll tell you like you have 10 minutes up, like you have 10 minutes left on your limit, and it's actually great because if I didn't have that,
I think I need to add that to my phone. Like I do get stuck in the doom scrolling sometimes. It's terrible.
It's hard. It's really is, and I'm actually grateful. I'm so busy that I can't just sit on the couch and just this all day.
I'm so busy, but I find a way to just sit and like waste time. I think I'm watching some kind of thing about like insect wars, and like there's like, these insects are fighting each other. And it's like, all the animal channel ones are super interesting to me, like just like the interaction and things. But it's like, I was like next, and like before you know, like 2 hours have passed. Like it's so crazy.
No one multitasks better than someone who can be on social media and do work at the same time. It's really what it is.
So, but social media has gotten you a lot of success. And then, but it parlayed into like this private lending like that you're doing. So you lend money, but you also raise some money for some projects. You tell me about how that works.
So yeah, that was an accident getting into it. Again, it was a relationship that was just someone was like, hey, we have a bunch of properties. And we have a bunch of deals. We're always looking to raise private capital. They're like, you should try raising private capital. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. Like, I don't like. You want me to ask people for money?
So were you lending to them first? Or
and
how
so
did that work?
I had done only one private money loan at the time before that with anher investor who I met through social media. And that one went well. I actually funded that deal while I was in Hawaii.
Oh wow, great. Curious. So how did you meet this guy or him or her, and how did you trust them?
I actually in the baseball community I coached his son. And so again the trust is already there, and it's also like, you screw me over, I screw your son over. Like, I control his playing time. So, and that's literally what he told me. He was like, Darius, I won't screw you over because you control my son's playing time. So I was like, good point. And so he's like, hey, you should raise private capital. And I was like, well, why don't I lend first? Because I want a proof of concept. I don't want to put my name behind something I've never done.
Right?
And so he's like, all right, let's do it. And then he offers really flexible deals. And so I did I funded 2 deals at the same time with them. And it was awesome. So I did it and I was like, okay. And that's when he's like, hey, so this is what raising private capital is like. And it was over lunch. We just talked. And then he's like, just try it. So that's when I made that post. And then that got raised $600,000. No idea what I was doing.
When you made the post, was it from people who were close to you, people who were strangers? Who were these people who were
I just put it on Instagram. I literally just made a post, threw it on Instagram.
No, but I mean, so people who responded, were they like friends and family? Was it people?
It was friends and family first.
People you had a good relationship with already.
Yeah, it was friends and family first. It was friends, and it was another family I coached. Which again, this is why trust is so important.
Yeah.
And so it was a family of a kid of a player that I coached, and they were like, "Hey, that looks really interesting." And then they went and lent, and then another person reached out, but then. That post, days later, people were still reaching out. Then it started becoming people who I've never even met before. And they were like, oh, okay. And then so I just realized, just ask them for money. Like just be upfront about it. It's, you don't have to make it all fancy and like word it. I spent hours trying to figure out how to word it. And then I realized like, just get to the point. So then the next post that actually somewhat took off, I just said, hey, I made $20,000 on this private money loan. If you want to do that, here's how. And it was just a breakdown of like what a private money loan setup is. And it was in that private money loan setup would then, if they commented, it would link them directly to get a call with me, with the investors. And I felt very accomplished when I was setting all this up. and I was like, man, I'm good at this. I still have no idea what I'm doing. And then someone did it. And then I had no idea, never met them before.
This is with like 2,000 followers too, right? At this point.
Oh, not even. I was at 1,200.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you raised $1 million through social media with just 1,200
with 1,200 followers.
That, dude, I props to you. I mean that's crazy to me. But okay, please continue.
Yeah. And so it was. It was just like they were like, okay. So someone reached out. And then they lent. And then I actually talked to them like, hey, how did you like this? And then because the payouts of the private money loans that I post with the investors I lend with, they're actually only 3 months long, which is awesome because the flexibility is amazing.
The thing is, I mean, like the longer the loan I found is like the more trust has to be built with the investor because like my money's tied for a long time. I don't know what's happening with it. But if it's a short-term loan, it's like, hey, like I know I'm going to get it back right away. So like, it works. Like, you can do it over and over again. So I feel like the shorter term the loan, like the more easy it is to raise money.
It is. And that's what people liked about it. When I said, they're like, oh, how long do I have to tie my money up for? And then the first thing everyone says is, I don't like hard money loans. I'm like, this is not a hard money loan. And I had to study the difference between hard money and private money. And then people were like, oh, okay. That sounds interesting. The 3 months was the biggest sell because that's not a long time. And then you have the option to roll your money into the next deal if you don't want to pull it out. So it's like, so I tell people it's a very high yield savings account. That's the way you look at it. So then the next person reached out and I told them the same spiel. They did it. And then I called them. How's it going? We love it. So then I was like, okay. So then I posted about it. And then once I started posting like actionable things, like it's happening, more people started being attracted to it. Then I started a newsletter. It was the most ghetto newsletter. It was a ghetto newsletter. I can't even call it a newsletter. It was literally it was a Gmail. It was called investwithdarius@gmail.com. Like it was, and then it was literally a manual email I'd send out. You couldn't unsubscribe from it, which is probably really bad. But I only sent it out to the people I knew. And then so I was like, okay.
What did you put into that newsletter?
And then it would just be information. It was literally me sharing my experience of a private money lender.
Okay.
I was like, hey, I got into this on accident. I was very honest and upfront about it. I was like, guys, I never expected to do this, but I'm making a lot of money from doing this. And it's not taking much of my time. And I think private money lending is the best position you could be in real estate. It's like being, it's like going to the gym and getting your dream body from working out without working out.
Yeah.
That's the way I put it.
It totally is. I mean, like the trick is, I think private lending is like the best thing. But then, like, it matters who the operator is, because like there's some people who have lent private money and they've actually lost their principal, which is like the most terrible thing to happen, right? So like the more you can limit your risk when you're lending private money, the better like the security you have. Like, so I think that's where like the pros and cons are. Like, it's super good because you do absolutely nothing and you make a big return. But the cons is it could be a risk depending on the operator.
It's 100% the operator makes the deal. And that's why I put my principles in private money lending.
Yeah.
Rule number one is people over profit.
Yeah.
And so if you find, like the investor I lend with, I am like glued to him. And so I actually funded a deal for him last week before we left for here.
Awesome.
And we're to the point we're so close where he's like, hey, I have this deal. And I'm like, great, say no more. Let's go. If I have the funds, let's do it. And so you really invest in people. And then if you find that right investor and you can get repeat business, that's when you've made it, because just go with them over and over and over again. And again, anyone can screw you over. So you should always do everything above board, which is you should have the promissory note and you want the right paperwork and you want everything. But you find that relationship with someone. I mean, it's kind of like that saying. I think it's a saying is if you know how to find deals, you'll never go broke. So like they found, I found them and I'm like,
he's kind of like the golden goose at this point.
He is really the golden goose egg that I just landed on. Like, it was just great. It was a lunch at Panera is really where it started.
It's so crazy. There's so many times I think in our career where we just had like the right lunch or the right coffee or the right conversation, and it launched into like a long-term relationship that's blossomed and made us like a lot of money.
It is. And it's just, again, putting yourself out there and being willing to talk to people.
And the more you kind of get out there and have these conversations, like 50 out of like 52 are not going to do anything, right? It's just like those couple out of 100 that's actually going to turn to like really fruitful. But if you don't have those 100 conversations, you'll never get to those 2.
Exactly.
So then like the more like lunches, coffees you can have, the better. But we only have so much time. But with social media, now I can have like a lot more lunches and coffees and touch points with these people and kind of get to know more people, put myself out there. And it's not just who like it's also who knows you. Right?
Yes. And again, that's the power of social media. It's like your reach is so much bigger. It's like having a million arms. And you can just, at so many times, you can be like, here, like reach out to this person, and then this person knows this person that will lead them back to you. And that's why I said it could be your greatest asset, your greatest liability.
So, I mean, how many times a day do you post, or like what's your schedule look like?
Monday through Friday.
Yeah, so five times a week, Monday through Friday.
One post every day. If I'm getting a little fancy, maybe I'll sneak that second post in, but really it's just one a day. Nice. And then I do maybe 2 stories a day, maybe 3.
And how long have you been doing this for?
So I start, honestly, consistently posting Monday through Friday, I would say now a year and a half.
Okay, so a year and a half. Okay.
So yeah, and it's a grind.
It is,
I wouldn't even say I'm good at it. I was like, I'll just stay consistent, and then eventually something will happen. And it's been happening. So I'm like, just don't fix what's not broken. Just learn.
I mean, I had the same experience. I think so. It was 2023. I think I went to an event. I was inspired. Like, hey, I'm gonna post every single day. So I did 7 days a week, every single day for like a full year. And then like I think I started with like 2,000 followers, something like that. And then like I had a couple of viral posts, like a 30 million like views and everything. And that 30 million view post got me like 30,000 followers.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, because when you think about it, it's like for every 1,000 people that watched that post, like one person subscribed. Like, like that. But just like those, I had a few viral posts, and that's kind of what got us to where we are today. But then like it was just like that consistency over like a long period of time. Like crickets. Okay, home run. Crickets. But it's just like that pattern of like consistency over a long period of time. And I think it slowly starts to build our audience organically as well too. And then the people who see you post like consistently over a long period of time, they'll stay. But if you kind of like drop off or like that, you don't post as much, I think your audience slowly starts to like dwindle at the same time. So it's important to maintain your momentum like while you have it, to not like take breaks. Like, there's guys like, oh, I'm gonna go super hard for like 3 months, and then to take a month break, and then they lose all the momentum.
Yep. It's that discipline of just sticking with it. Because you do get in those periods where you're like, I'm done posting. I need a break. And I'm like, there's tough time. I'm like, just do it. Just do it. You'll be grateful.
Just post garbage as long as there's like a post out there.
I'm like, because the days that I don't want to do it are far less than the days I want to do it. So I'm like, if I can just pump out. Like there's I'll just tell myself 5 days I just don't want to do it. This week I don't want to do it. I'm really just asking myself to just, gut up for 5 days. I can gut up for 5 days. That's not a big deal.
Yeah. So you're doing a lot of things though. So like you're doing private lending yourself. You're helping people connect with other investors through private lend. Are you buying properties, flipping houses? Like what else are you doing?
So I currently own 6 rentals.
Okay.
One of them is actually an international one in Dubai.
Wow. Okay. When did you buy that one?
So that was in December of last year.
Wow. Okay.
And
I
so,
gotta hear this story, but continue. So.
Yeah. So the first one I bought was in Texas, was a rental.
Okay.
And then flew out. That's my baby. That's the first one.
That's the first one. Okay.
So yeah, I flew out, saw everything, got that one, and then the next 2 were in Tennessee. Never flew out, just ran the numbers. I started feeling more confident, and then Dubai was the next one.
Okay.
And then the 2 ones I just purchased in St. Louis.
Oh, congratulations.
Just closed on those. Yeah, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
Just closed on those. Today's Monday, so on Friday.
What area in St. Louis?
It's in Kansas City.
Okay.
And
Because we do a little investing in Kansas City too. That's why. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it was from, again, I bought those off the people I private money lend with. They have all these properties. And I said, hey, I've been selling a lot of real estate. I need to buy some more real estate. So they were like, hey, yeah, what do you want to do? And the coolest thing was they actually, instead of putting in more money to buy those, I have, a bunch of money that's in private money loans with them. They're like, let's just transfer the, I was 180,000.
Okay.
Transfer that into 2 properties.
Wow.
That also need to be fixed up. So here's the repairs.
Wow.
Which is a huge benefit.
So it's basically handing you some deals on a silver platter.
On a silver platter, and then I will fix those up, cash out, refinance them back into the private money loan.
Wow, I love it. I mean, this is like genius. Okay, let's walk through this scenario.
Okay.
So you've got 180 grand with private lending to these people, right?
Yeah.
They own, how many properties do they own?
800 to 900.
Okay, they own a ton of properties in the Midwest, right?
Yep.
So then you've got 180 that you're lending with these guys. Then what is like? Walk me through this process. Like it's crazy. It's genius. Okay. So 180, right?
Yep. And then so the two properties total of 180, and that's with purchase price and repairs.
Okay. So what can be like the purchase price and the repairs?
So like the purchase price on one was $60,000 with $30,000 in repairs.
Okay.
And the they're both pretty much identical.
Okay. So two properties, like the purchase price $60,000 and then a $30,000 repair.
Yeah.
And you already had the 180 sitting with these guys, so like 90 each, right? So you bought 2 properties that needed repairs. Okay.
Yep. And basically the ARV on each of them will probably be around 120, 125.
Okay.
And I told them, I was like, I don't need this to be a perfect BRRRR. I just need it to be better than what I normally would put down.
Yeah.
And then because on the cash out refinance, I will put it back into a private money loan. So it's you buy them. It's their contractor's going to renovate it for me.
They've done a bunch of these. They've got 800 or 900 properties. They know the drill.
They know the drill. So I actually don't. It's like I basically am private money lending my own properties in a way because I'm not handling the renovations.
Yeah.
The property management company is theirs.
Wow. Okay.
So I just set up my account with them.
Okay.
They're handling all of it. I set up my own home insurance.
Okay.
So
I mean, this is like a crazy good deal. Okay, for both people. So like for you, so like you have the 180 lending with them. You're getting a return. You say, I want to buy a couple rentals to offset probably what you're making as an agent. You're killing it over there.
Yeah.
And then so you buy one for 60 and you put $30,000 in the renovation. They handle the renovation. It appraises for 120. Each. You do a cash out refinance, you pull back out the 90. Now you own 2 rental properties and you have the 180 start out with and you give it back to them to continue lending.
Yeah. So it's like basically just like 10xing my return on my private money loan. And I asked them, I was like, can we continue doing this? Like this doesn't have to be like a one-off. And they're like, yeah. Wow. So I was like, I love you.
Yeah.
So these 2, and then once those finish everything, then I will do probably 2 more at a time, and then I'll get more aggressive with it as things keep going. Because at this point, I don't want to keep saving money. I want to keep building
long-term wealth, right?
Yeah. So it's a great setup.
In no time, you're gonna have like 50 rentals. Like if you just keep doing this process, you're only limited by that 180 and then time, right? Because theoretically, if you had more money, you could do like 10 at a time. Yeah. If you had like a longer period of time, you could do like 500. It just matters on your timeline and then like how much money you're rolling over and over.
Exactly. So. And then eventually as it goes well, I will put more money into it. And then again, and that's the next thing, I'll start telling people, look, this is what I'm doing. They offer this as well. Yeah. So let's. And that just opens up a whole nother avenue of business.
Yeah. That's so cool. So out of all the different things you're doing, you're an agent, you're an investor, you own some rental properties, you bought one in Dubai. What does like your agent business look like right now?
So right now, it's been busy. I've been very blessed. And so I'm actually have a listing soon as we get back. I have to prep it for market.
Okay.
So that, I'm helping people buy and sell real estate, whether it's for themselves to live in or investment properties or selling their home. And it's been fun. That's honestly like the joy of real estate. That's the fun part. And, it has its ups and downs for sure. But I don't plan on stopping that anytime soon. Right now I'm at 10 million sold so far this year.
Congratulations.
And so thank you. And I have my mentor who's also my partner. I mean, together we sell, I think, in 2022 was an insane year. It was 98 million.
Wow.
Like sold in real estate. It was insane.
Wow.
And I just learned a lot from him. And it's just, now it's social media.
It's a little slower year this year, I think, across the board for like real estate agents and investors. But then I feel like it's just a matter of time before it's going to take up again, right? So like if you can just survive or thrive during this time, when the market does go back up to like a 2022, you're just going to crush it even more.
It is, yeah. And it's funny is I've actually sold a lot of like units wise this year, but they're just smaller amounts. Like I've had a lot of first time buyers this year instead, because again, the starter home where my office is at, the starter home is like $3 million.
Okay, wow.
It's like, but I've had a lot of first time buyers in townhomes and stuff like that compared to just getting the, tech engineer that's buying the $4 million home or $3 million home. But then you get the one-offs, like we had one in Cupertino, which is a very, it's one of the best school districts in our area. And that one was listed for 2.9. We broke a record for the neighborhood. It was listed for 2.995, sold for 3.548 in a week with 17 offers.
So you guys were the listing agents.
Yeah, I was listing agent. And that was actually my second time selling that home.
Wow. So you sold it for the first guy and for the second guy.
Yep.
Wow.
So that was the first time I'd ever done it on that kind of deal. That was just pretty fun to see.
Wow, that's very cool.
And got to watch the renovations and help out with them and see it all the way through. It was like a $300,000 renovation. We turned that home from bones to a beautiful modern smart home.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like a lot of fun. Do you ever have like any challenging clients or anything?
Oh yeah. Most challenging client. I always remember this one. It was a 5-year follow-up. I actually got them. They were a referral during COVID.
Okay.
Got them a home.
Okay.
And they backed out at the finish line, and we beat out multiple offers and were less. Dude, they just got spooked with the pandemic. Like, I don't know where our economy's headed. Yeah. So they backed out. Okay. And then, and so I was like, okay, we'll find another home. And that one was already hard. Like getting them that far was hard. Yeah. And I just would send out a text. At first it would be like, once every 2 weeks. Yeah. Hey, are you still looking? And then they ghosted me. Yeah. And I was like, all right. And then even my wife's like, you should just let them go. They were difficult. Yeah. Then I just sent it out once a month, a text. And I kept I kept it going for 5 years.
Wow. So, I mean, that's really crazy. So like for your clients, like you're once a month for 5 years, you're sending out this text.
It was, yeah. And then at some point it would be like once every 2 to 3 months, but it was most of the time I stayed like once a month. Okay. And it was just a simple text like, hey, how's it going? Just want to check in to see how you're doing. Not asking for your business. Just want to stay top of mind. And then eventually so this year he calls me, he goes, found a house, we want it. Okay. They had already seen the house. Okay. I hadn't even gone to the house, I hadn't seen it yet. And I was like, all right, let me hurry up and drive up in the hills to go see it. Beautiful home. And then multiple offers. We actually were the lower offer. Wow. And it was just, but we sweetened the terms. They trusted me on this, thank goodness. Okay. They got the home.
Who trusted you, like the
buyer?
Okay.
Yeah, the buyer trusted me on
how did you win it over like the other higher offers?
We offered a rent back. And it's like, this is why it's so important to ask the other agent or the seller, why are they selling? What do they need? And they needed a longer rent back because they were moving out of a 4,000 square foot home.
I see. Yeah.
So up in the hills. Yeah. So I was like, hey, we'll offer you a free rent back for a month. Okay. Wow. So give you an extra month to move out. And they were like, we love it. We'll take it. Okay. Where all the other offers were like, get out now. Yeah. So they were like, okay. So they took it. And then that escrow period, I think I lost 3 years of my life on that one. The client doesn't read the contract. Didn't read the contract a lot. I explained to them how everything works, explained it in email, text, and on the phone, so there's no misconstruing. They were like, you didn't tell me this and that. And I'm like, well, here's the email where we had this. You didn't tell me this. You had an email. Then they were like, we're going to sue because this is ridiculous. Wow. It was a nightmare. The escrow lasted 60 days.
What did they, like, what was a mix-up?
It was, so we offered a free rent back. Okay. And so you can either charge for a rent back because, again, once you close, you have to pay. You have your mortgage isn't active. I told him, I was like, hey, it's a free rent back, meaning that they are not paying you as a tenant, but you will still be responsible for the mortgage. I was like, but this also, the mortgage is going to be, you're going to
way less than like what you
way less. Exactly. Price, right? I was like, I was like, at the end of the day, I was like, take it, because those couple $1,000 is still less than how much we came under.
Yeah.
So, and they're like, oh, that sounds great. Yeah, we'll take
yeah.
it. And then all of a sudden they're like, how is this free? How are we giving it to him free? And I was like, well, if you see in the contract that states rent back, meaning, and it says it clearly, I was like, and in my email, I explained to Ann over the phone and in our text. And he fought me and he goes, well, I'm going to go to your office. And I was like, go ahead. Like, contact our office. Here's the paperwork.
Yeah.
He fought me on it. He's like, well, I expect you to pay me $10,000.
Wow. Because that's what the mortgage was.
Yeah. And then he goes, $10,000. He goes, and plus I'm still carrying the mortgage on my other home. And I was like, well, this is why we had this conversation with you and your lender. Can they afford to do this? And is this the right move? And their lender was like, yeah. Because you should always talk to the lender too.
Yeah.
Never just take the buyer's word for it.
Yeah, of course.
And he fought me on it every step of the way. And actually at one point this
was during the escrow period.
During escrow period. And finally I got to the point where I was so fed up and I just told him, I said, hey, look, we need to get this to the finish line. I've been talking to you for 5 years. Mm-hmm. You got a beautiful home. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to give you a gift. Your closing gift is I'm giving you $5,000. And I was like, and this is just going to help ease whatever and make you feel better. And I was like, and there we go. And I was like, so we'll give you a credit of $5,000, pretty much what it comes out of closing costs.
Yeah.
And he was just like, okay, thanks. Quiet after that. Wow. And I was just like, and then all the way to closing, that was difficult. And then the rent back period was, I thought that part was hard. The rent back period was 15 times worse.
What happened during the rent back period?
It was the sellers were supposed to, there was a leak in the sink and we went to do a walkthrough and the sellers, we didn't know. I'm like, well, there's mold under the sink. So it was there for a while. How'd you not know? And it's in the primary bathroom sink. Yeah. And he's like, well, we're not going to fix it.
During the rent back?
During the rent back. Okay. And they're like, we're not going to fix it. I was like, well, anything that new comes up, like something like that was not stated in the contract, that's your responsibility. Mm-hmm. And then they fought back and forth on it. And then there was a chicken coop, and then they didn't clean out the trash in the chicken coop like they were supposed to. And then we found that there was a hot tub in the home because it was over 2 acres. Okay. And they had a tarp over something. And we asked them what's under the tarp, and they're like, don't move it. It's don't move it. It's just trash. We'll get it out. They move out. I go back. I lift. It's a hot tub with cats living in it. Yeah. So then I'm like, so now I have to figure out. I'm like, hey, let's get this removed. And they're like, no, we're not removing it. And so then my buyers are mad because they think it's my fault. Yeah. So then I have to schedule someone to drive up in the hills and move it. And so that rent back was another 30 days. And every single one of those days there was a complaint about something. It was a hard process. And then we finally got them to the finish line and they're closed. And I'm like, all right.
How did you get rid of the cats? What was
it was the owners actually ended up coming back because I told them, I was like, we're going to take them to a shelter and not know what's going to happen. You kind of just scare them. Yeah. And the owners came back and the cats were gone. Nice. And then so I was like, okay, but it was hard. Yeah. And that story went through my entire office too. They're like, so Darius got the difficult client. It was everyone I talked to, I called my mentor. I was like, how do I handle this? I've never seen this happen before. And he's just like, man, he's like, you should have just stopped following up with him 3 years ago.
So I mean, it's crazy because some of these difficult challenges in their business, it's when you're in the middle of it, it's so stressful. Right? You're like, why did I sign up for this? Yes. But in retrospect, it's a funny story.
It is. Yeah.
It's like you don't remember the pain that you felt during that time.
Yeah.
It's just kind of crazy how it is, but I feel like it also levels you up. So then when you come across the next crazy client, it's not as bad as so-and-so. I've dealt with something worse before. So you always you can compare it to hey, this is not as hard as the hard that I felt in the past.
Yeah. It's like, I've had a lot of my office laughs at me because I get some very interesting clients. And so it's, each one I keep thinking, okay, I handled that one. Then the next one comes, I'm like, oh boy. But then the confidence you gain from it after completing it, it's like, okay, I can tackle the difficult ones. And even my wife is like, when she hears me on the phone with a client, she's like, this is going to be a rough one. I'm like, I'm the guy for the job. And so, but it makes you a better realtor. The easy ones don't teach you anything. Yeah. It
makes it kind of when you get it's too easy, you get complacent and you kind of get entitled. I feel like it's you just assume this is how it's supposed to be. It's always easy. And then when you come across the difficult ones, you're shocked. But if you start with a lot of difficult ones, you're like, hey, I just expect it to be difficult. When it's easy, it's like a bonus.
Yeah, and that's how it was for me. My deals were difficult. It's like I said, the first deal I had closed right before the pandemic started, but then also it was a very high profile client. They were one of the lead engineers of LinkedIn.
Wow.
That was my first client I ever had.
Wow.
And so I'm like, and I'm dealing with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't have millions of dollars. I don't even know what it's like to see money, like this much money. So then, but then that one was hard. And then the next one was hard. But then I got one really easy one. And then and all the realtors were like, yeah, this is how it is a lot of the time. Like the easy one, I'm like, yeah, speak for yourself. So, but I love it. I still wouldn't trade it. Like
awesome.
The great stories, they become great stories.
Yeah.
So that's why we do it though.
So real estate agent, investor, you bought something in Dubai recently. Like,
yes.
How did that come out?
That was another on accident. Oops. Like it was, there was a real estate event in Dubai.
Okay.
And Dubai actually is on my bucket list to travel.
Okay.
We're going there this September for the first time.
Okay. Oh, so you've never been there
Never
before.
been to Dubai. And
so
we
you bought it remotely.
Yeah, bought it remotely.
Okay,
the numbers
crazy.
were amazing. And so we went to a Dubai.
What do the numbers look like? Just out of
So
curiosity.
the apartment we bought is it's an apartment that's still being built. It won't be finished until 2028.
Okay.
It's $330,000, but you do interest only payments twice a year.
Okay.
Until you by the time the property is completed, you have to have paid 80% of the purchase price.
Okay.
And then so we're making 2 payments a year, and then our plan is to take that property and then sell it right when it's completed.
Got it.
Because
yeah.
so with Dubai, the biggest thing is off plan. So just how we are off market and like it's like our pocket listings, that's their off plan, and it's for stuff that hasn't been built yet. And then that's the big draw of Dubai is because there's so much growth going on over there. I mean, they were up 1 million. Their population was up by 1 million people.
Wow.
And so like in a year and a half,
it's only increasing too.
It's only increasing.
So.
No taxes. It's very business friendly,
Yeah.
and it's one of the safest cities
There's
in the
no
world.
taxes in
No
Dubai?
taxes. Isn't that insane?
Great. That is. I didn't know that. That's
It
crazy.
is. They have a great system out there. Like their government's very in tune with the people. And so,
the government is like dirt, is like filthy rich. That's why, right?
Yes,
so,
it is.
So that's why they can afford no taxes.
And their government is heavily invested in real estate. So it's like by investing in real estate out there, you're investing in the government, which is really cool. And so we went to a real estate event. And we just saw a local real estate event in San Jose, and we're like, let's just check it out. Why not?
Okay.
And so my wife and I went, and then I'll be honest, they sound like used car salesmen. They'll tell you everything's good. We have the hottest sun in the world, but it's also the most beautiful sun.
Yeah.
And then so we're like, okay, whatever. Let's. And then the numbers looked interesting. So then I started social media.
Okay.
Let me reach out to realtors out there.
Okay.
And so I reached out to a ton, interviewed a bunch, got rid of a bunch, and then finally found a realtor that was really good. And then she's like, let's go over the real numbers.
Okay.
And she's like, number one, it's all about who you buy with. Buy with a well-known developer.
Okay.
So we bought with Emaar, which is the biggest developer in Dubai. They built the Dubai Mall, which is the biggest mall in the world.
Okay.
Burj Khalifa, tallest building in the world, all that stuff. So we bought with them and we bought in a location which is by the Al Maktoum. I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Okay.
Al Maktoum Airport, which is the new airport that's being built in Dubai.
So it's really interesting. You're buying in the path of gentrification. Like it's very speculative, but it's basically like gambling, but like all the odds are stacked in your favor, right?
Yes.
It's like that. So like the numbers wise, it's $330 purchase price.
Yeah.
How much do you have to put down?
So we had to put $10,000 down.
So $10,000 down to start.
Yeah, $10,000 start.
How much a year are you putting?
And then we're putting in a total of $38,000 pretty much per year.
So $30,000 a year for the next
4 years.
4 years. So
and then it was $60,000.
Okay.
It's $60,000 per year because it's 2 payments of 30.
Okay.
And then so it'll be $60,000 per year.
Okay.
And that'll take you to, by the time it's finished in December of 2028,
$250 total.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're all in $250 on a $330,000 property.
Yep.
What do you think it'll be worth at 2028?
Oh, it's probably going to be it'll be more than double that.
So like let's say 800,000.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if it goes according to plan, you put in 250, and then in 4 years you get back basically you make like 500 grand.
Yeah. Put it this way: is the building in the because we bought on a golf course too, and the apartment complex that went up right next to us 2 months later, same apartment, same floor, same layout, square footage, sold for $75,000 more.
Wow.
In 2 months. And then the next one, even more.
Yeah.
And so it's very aggressive. And our building sold out in 2 hours.
Wow.
So it's
the pre-sale.
The pre-sale sold out in 2 hours. And so now it's the only way you can buy in our apartment is if you from the owner. So the demand is there.
It's really interesting. We have something similar in Hawaii. That's why, because we have like a lot of condos that are coming up.
Yep.
So what guys would do is let's say it's $1 million condo, right? Like you put down 10% only. So you put in $100,000 for like the 3 years, but you only have to put in the $100,000. And the end of the 3 years is worth like 1.1, 1.2. So then in 3 years, you basically double or triple your money. But it's like, it's always about how much you invest and how much you get back.
Yes.
So it's like the same strategy where like you're buying before it's built, but then on the assumption that it's probably going to go up in time because inflation, the economics, whatever, the gentrification. And so I think it's a really cool like strategy that like not a lot of people are aware of, but like it makes a lot of sense.
It's long-term play. It's like instead of, there's flipping, which gives you the short-term money. This is the long-term play. And again, I look at real estate as the very aggressive piggy bank. And so we put it out there and we're like, hey, let's put the money there. And then, at the end of the day, if property values don't go up enough, the rents up there are going to continue to spike because we bought 30 minutes outside of the major downtown area. I'm a bit, like you said, gentrification. I'm a big believer. Most of the properties that I own are like 30 minutes outside of a major downtown area. So expansion will happen out there. The airport's bringing 200,000 jobs.
Wow.
It's a huge airport. And so I was like, it's going to rent to someone out there. And if the rents were where they're at right now, it would make $800 a month as a long-term rental.
As like a net cash flow.
And net cash flow as a long-term rental.
Because $330 is like, especially California or Hawaii, like that's dirt cheap.
Yeah, that's nothing, right? Like you can't even buy a wall for $330,000 in the where we are. Yeah, I was like, you can't. I tell people, I'm like, we have the most wealthiest homeless people we ever meet. Like, I was like, so when you're looking at the prices, I'm like, that's it? Really? They're like, yeah. I was like, okay, let's do it. So I'd rather take the risk and do it than miss out on it.
The other thing too, when you're looking at investing is how much is my return going to be, but how much time do I have to put into it? Yeah. Because that's a big factor. That's why I think private lending is such an underrated tool because it's not the best return. It's like a great return, but not the best return. Yeah. But there's zero time. Versus let's say like flipping or these other things, there's so much time and energy that's put into it. Like when you factor in your time and your energy, the return's a lot less. That's why like this Dubai one is really interesting because like set it and forget it. Like, like you're basically, there's no time involved. And then, like at the end, you should reap potentially like 3x what you invested in it.
Exactly. So. And that's why the private money lending, I've really shifted to it too, even though it was an accident, was because I'm so busy. And then after buying rentals and just finding deals with high interest rates, it got tough. So then it was like, I need kind of like put my money somewhere, forget about it, focus on everything else. So then Dubai fit that mold as well. So, and then we did it, and then we're just watching the property values go up and all the good news going out there with Dubai. So we're like, this is great. I
love it, man. So cool. Okay, so last question for you.
Yeah.
So you've had like a lot of success over like the last few years on social media. If somebody they want to be an investor or an agent or something along those lines, and they want advice from like one piece of advice on the social media side, what would you give us to tell to that person?
Just post. No matter what it is, even if you don't know what you're doing, just post. You don't have to come off and have everything professionally done. Just get out there and do it, and you're going to learn as you go. And honestly, social media is the best place to make a mistake because you make a mistake flipping a home, you're going to lose a bunch of money. That's true. You make a mistake on social media, you're going to lose a follower.
Yeah.
So just keep going. Yeah. It's like, and just keep going, and then have fun with it. Treat it like your own personal playground, and just you're gonna go on the swings one day, then you're gonna go on the slide another day, and just do it. Like I'm posting dancing videos now, randomly, just making an absolute fool of myself.
There's like a lot of like, I feel like over the time you've got to more comfortable on social media, and you're posting a lot more like personal things or like things that are just not, it's just real estate.
Yeah, I would have never expected I'd even be doing something like this. Like stuff like this would make me like really nervous and like nerve wracking.
Really? I mean, you're a natural, man.
No, I told her before. I was like, when I told my wife before, I was like, when we're doing this, I was like, I'm kind of nervous. I was like, I don't really do podcasts. I was like, but it's something that's like, just put yourself out there, see what happens. Because honestly, there's not really a bad thing that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like you're not.
The upside is so big. The downside is basically like nothing. Right?
Yeah. The downside is you get 5 views.
Yeah.
Like, oh, well, like that's not going to hurt you. Yeah. And it's like, and if it hurts your ego, like suck it up. So what? Do it again. I was like, but guess what? Those 5 people you probably were never going to meet anyways.
Yeah, that's true. That's
so it's like at the end of the day, you'll get comfortable as you do it. And so just keep going. I'm still trying to get comfortable, like posting stories and talking in front of people.
Same, man.
It's so awkward, but like, I'm like, hey, at the end of the day, 1, I'm never going to see this person again. And 2, it's, you'd rather do it and it work out than not do it and watch everyone else work out for someone else.
I love that. Well, dude, thank you so much for the time today. If people want to reach out to you or find out more about you, what's the best place to do it?
Reach out to me on social media. Invest with Darius. I'm on there daily.
Awesome,
so even the days I don't post, I'm still on there. Awesome. And I like to respond back pretty quickly. So that's the best way to get in touch with me. And then from there, you'll get all my other more personal contacts. So thanks for having me, man.